When I started calisthenics 7 years ago, my arms never grew until I figured out these 5 calisthenics exercises that finally blew up my arms in size. And in this video, I'm breaking down the exact ones you need to do if you actually want arm size. So that is exactly what most people are going through right now. They are actually in a phase where their arms are not really growing, and I totally understand why. Because listen, I've been training calisthenics for a long time, and I've been just training in general for a long time. I've been doing weights also in the process, a little bit here and there. And the thing that I always keep telling everyone is that if you want to have big arms, you're going to have to focus on them. Your arms are not that big of a muscle, man. Your biceps are small. Triceps, they are small muscles. Your arms are not like huge muscles like your chest, your back, your legs, you know what I'm saying? They're not big. So if you want to actually focus on them, you can't just reliably focus on your pull-ups and your dips. Now listen, for some people who have a genetics advantage when it comes to arm training, right? Or when it comes to arm size, they will have to do some push-ups and pull-ups and they can grow big arms. You have some people who just grow biceps like this. But if you're like me, and this is with most hard gainers, if you have a slight disadvantage in your arm genetics and you can't really get them to respond or grow, then you're going to have to focus on your arm growth. You're going to literally have to take your arms, look at them and think, I gotta fucking attack the bicep and the tricep separately. I gotta attack this head of the tricep, this head of the bicep. I gotta do everything strategically, and I gotta focus on my arms in order to make them grow. If you're not going to do that, you're not going to get them to grow. And that is exactly why I've implemented a full arm workout, an arm progression pattern in my Jacked by Calisthenics Blueprint program for all of the individuals. If you watching this video right now want to actually get jacked before 2026, so you want to walk into 2026 with the physique that you've always wanted, you want to attract that girl that you've been looking at for a while now, and you want to ask her out, yeah, exactly. You can do that with this program because this is going to be unlocking your dream physique within 6 months time. So if you want that, if you actually want to gain muscle with calisthenics, with the proper way of training, the proper way of progressively overloading, the right strategies, go to the top link in the description, and this is where you're going to be doing that. So let's get into exercise number 1, and this is arguably my favorite. It's my favorite compound bicep exercise because this is a mix of compound bicep exercises and isolation bicep and tricep exercises. So this is going to be the first compound, and it's going to be ring chin-ups, especially weighted, if you can actually do that. Now listen, the weighted ring chin-up is one of those exercises that is not just good for back growth or for insane pulling strength, which they are of course, but it's also extremely reliable for bicep growth. And you have to do them a certain way in order to really get that next level bicep growth. And the way that you're going to be doing that is by rotating your grip, rotating your rings in your advantage. So instead of just having it like this and doing chin-ups, just regular ass chin-ups, they will get your bicep big. But I'm telling you a different way, and the different way of doing it is by actually rotating it fully forward at the hanging position and then rotating it inwards and folding your back over so that you can really squeeze that bicep and not really your back, and then release it again and do it again. And the short range of motion is going to actually be helping you with this. Now listen, this exercise is, in my opinion, the best compound exercise for bicep that you can do. If you actually want to grow big biceps and you don't really have dumbbells at home and all this type of exercise selection thing, whatever that you can utilize, and you just want to grow big bicep by just making a shift in your exercise that you already do, such as your chin up or your pull up, this is the exercise that I want you to do. It's going to get your bicep extremely jacked. It's going to get you insanely strong when it comes to that chin over the bar part, and that's actually going to be growing your biceps. So how would I actually start progressing with this exercise properly if I wanted to see more growth in the long run? Well, first step is just increase the strength of what you're doing right now. If you're doing regular chin-ups, right, regular ring chin-ups, and you're already implementing these and you're getting good at them, don't just treat this as like, oh, it's a bicep exercise, so I'm supposed to just do body weight, small reps, trying to get as much blood into it. There's a good mindset behind it, which I understand if that's your mindset, but the better way of doing it is just by treating it like your fucking weighted pull-up, bro. Get as strong as you can. What I've always realized in every single realm of strength training, hypertrophy training, doesn't matter matter what it is. If an individual has a very big muscle, they're usually very strong on it. My two best body parts are my back and my chest. Why are they so big? That's because my weighted pull-up is ridiculously strong and my weighted dip and my push-ups are ridiculously strong. So if you want to get big biceps, why are you not applying that mindset to it? For the past 4 months, I've been basically just focusing, because my arms are like my main priority for like my entire lives because they never grew. And the main priority is focusing on getting as strong as I can with the bicep, focusing on getting as strong as I can with my triceps. Now it is a little bit harder to do, of course, in calisthenics because you're already good at your weighted dips, you're already good at your weighted chin-ups or pull-ups, and you're still not really growing. So on the isolation calisthenics exercise, it's becoming harder and harder for you to progressively overload because you're gonna have to make a bunch of fucking changes that you don't really want to make. I understand, but if you actually want to grow big biceps with this chin-up variation, then you need to focus on getting stronger on it because your biceps are going to overload that way. They're going to change that way. They're actually going to want to adapt that way. Now, with this exercise, you don't only want to be focusing on trying to get stronger, of course, because after a little while, doing 4 reps, 3 reps of just very heavy, you're going to be using a lot of back. So you want to be getting stronger in the, basically in the realm of biceps, if that kind of makes sense, right? It's hard to explain, but you want to gain strength while still letting your bicep do a majority of the work. So if you do it body weight right now, which is fine, by the way, and you focus on that certain form that I explained to you, get stronger in that certain form. So don't just think, oh, it's just a way to chin up on the rings and just get as strong as possible. That's not really what I'm saying. I am saying that, but I'm not really saying that. So what I want you to do is focus on that arm chin-up variation where you focus on the biceps, and in that variation, in that style of doing the reps, like rotating it in, squeezing, rotating, I want you to get stronger in that. I want you to be able to add more weight in that. All right, and that's the only thing that I want you to do. It's very, very easy to actually keep that in mind real quick. Like, okay, this is the form that I need to use. I don't need to add weight on my regular chin up. This is just my form that I need to use, and I'm going to get stronger within that because that's how I stimulate hypertrophy. If you want to stimulate muscle growth, you have to stimulate it, literally. You have to attack, you have to be able to learn to control the movement so that you can actually hit the muscle that you're trying to hit. If you're not going to do that, you're not really stimulating the muscle. So let's now get into exercise number 2, and that is going to be the tricep secret. And it's 2 exercises that you'll do back to back, and I want you to do this every single arm day, and trust me, the next day you will wake up with sore triceps. And this is something that people neglect, especially one of these exercises, and the combo is skull crushers and bench dips. Now this is something that not really a lot of individuals are talking about, but this combination, doing this properly, will get your arms, your triceps so damn huge and so pumped up. And if you progressively overload correctly on it, your arms are going to grow like they have never grown before. I have been doing this right now for about 3 weeks. 3 weeks of just implementing this. I started doing this superset a little while ago. I was like, holy fuck, this is the best superset I've ever done in my life. Just grabbing a chair, placing your hands about head width, so like right there, place your hands like that, just do skull crushers. Boom, skull crushers as much as you can. Do about 20, and then the moment when you get off and you hit failure, or you're basically at 2 reps in reserve, you turn around on the chair and you're gonna do basically shoulder width or a little bit closer bench dips. But there's one thing, instead of just doing the regular bench dip like everyone is telling you, just normal ass bench dips, start doing the deep bench dips. Extremely deep. I'm talking like not even extremely deep, extremely deep. So pick a high surface, and until your butt hits the ground, that's the limit that you should go. That's how deep you should go. And a lot of people are gonna be conversating in the comments like, oh, that only stretches out your chest and your shoulders and your front delts, not really your triceps. Listen, bro, if you start learning muscle contraction and actually being able to have that mind muscle connection, you're going to really be feeling that tricep stretch. So you want to be going down as deep as you can while rotating your triceps in front so that you can really just feel that fucking stretch on there. And it's insane. It's the best combination of tricep exercises I have ever done. Use this as a superset every single time you train arms. Every single time. You heard what I said. Every single time you train arms, these 2 exercises should be the main priority of your tricep exercises. Now, the proper way of progressively overloading on this is first starting off with a little ladder that I always do. So I do 20 and 20, 15 and 15, 10 and 10, No, sorry, 12 and 12 and then 10 and 10. That's a little 4-set ladder that you can start doing right now. And the moment when you're comfortable with that, you're only going to be doing, instead of that little ladder, you're going to be doing just 20 reps for 4 sets. The moment when that becomes easy, which is very high volume, and I do not think that you should stick on that for life. The moment when that is done, you want to now be focusing on adding a little bit of weight to it. Just a little bit of weight. And that's already going to be changing up the game, and you're going to be going back to a 20, 20, 15, 15, 12, 12, 10, 10 drop set. So you could be adding 22 pounds on your back with the skull crushers and just doing them, boom, again, 20 reps. And then turn around, put the plate on your lap, or use a weight vest, 20 bench dips, boom, 20, 20, 20. I'm going to be showing you everything. When it comes to the proper way of building triceps, is you want to be also getting stronger in this. So focus on learning this exercise. Of course, this is what your main priority should be, but you have to fucking build on it. You have to first be able to do that little ladder set, the 20, 20, all the way down to 10, 10, but then you're going to be sticking to just 20. And the moment when that becomes comfortable, you're going to be adding weight and go back to the 20 to 10 drop set, and then go all the way to 20 again until you're at 20 reps per set instead of dropping it down again. And then you're going to be adding weight again and just going to be repeating and wrenching and repeating that process over and over again to get big triceps. The beautiful thing about this is this focus on basically all of the heads, especially that long head, which you need for that like sweep right here, right? So that you can actually have that big arm, that big sweep because of that long head. If you train that, which you do train with having your arms behind your back or over your head, which you're doing with skull crushers and bench dips, your triceps are gonna blow the fuck up, man. Do this properly, do it right now, start gaining muscle. All right, let's get into exercise number 3, the best forearm combination that you can do in calisthenics. Number 1, this is gonna be the forearm and grip growth hack. So listen, if you actually want to build those thick forearms, which are going to be helping you exaggerate that arm thickness look, right? Especially when you wear long sleeve shirts or when you wear oversized t-shirts, you're going to be having that big forearm at the bottom that is going to basically look like you really do calisthenics because, yo, we have some strong ass grip, right? So listen, what we're going to be doing is reverse curls on the rings, and we're going to be doing ring wrist curls. Now, this is an exercise that nobody is really doing. I've never seen people do this, but what you're going to be doing is you're going to be mimicking the reverse curl that you do on the easy bar, exactly like this, right? And you're going to be supersetting it with a literal arm wrestling exercise or a forearm building exercise, bodybuilding exercise with the ring. So you're going to be rotating your wrist inward, and with that, you're going to be pulling your entire body weight literally up and down to build your forearms up. Now listen, the rep range for this exercise is a little bit on the higher range because we want to be putting a shit ton of blood into it. We want to have that goal of making it rock solid at the end of doing 3 sets or 2 sets of this. So the first exercise that you should do is doing those reverse curls on the rings and then dropping it down immediately with an easier variation with those fucking ring curls. And trust me, you're going to experience the craziest forearm pump that you've ever had in your life. More than edging for 30 hours, bro. Now you want to be doing this before you train your triceps and your biceps. I honestly think that training forearms before you get into your real bicep work is going to be better because you already have that little bit of the pre-fatigue in your forearms, which is going to be able to make you a little bit more stable, a little bit more better. You're going to be having better grip while you're doing your ring curls or your tricep exercises. You're going to be feeling a little bit better when you get into the workout, and this also acts as a great warm-up for your elbows. You see, when you do forearm exercises, you activate your elbows a lot of the times. When you're doing the wrist curls like this, you're activating the elbow, you're warming up the elbow. When you're doing it like this, you're warming up the elbow. That's why when you have tennis elbow, the fucking physio guy, whatever, is going to be advising you to do wrist curls because it's activating the elbow, it's making it durable. So when you're actually going to be training arms, warm up with this superset right here, but don't treat it as a warm-up. Treat it as like you're actually working, but it's going to be warming up your bicep and tricep and your elbows properly so that you can feel smooth and like fucking a hot knife through butter when you're doing your curls. Then we have exercise number 4, and here we have another superset. As you can see, this is not just 5 exercises, it's 5 combos and like real builders that you need. So listen, this combination is going to be normal curls on the rings. So you're going to be pulling it towards your face, which mimics a spider curl, and then you're going to be turning around and doing pelican curls, which mimics incline curls or preacher curls. which is going to be focusing on the stretch, and that turnaround ring one, which is basically the spider curl version, that's going to be focusing on the tension part of the movement. So you have to combine both of these, because I do think that both of these exercises have big flaws, but if you do them together, they fucking destroy all the flaws that I'm about to talk about. So when it comes to the bicep curl towards the face, the flaw that it has, in my opinion, is that there's no tension at the stretch position. Zero. So after this point right here, there's basically nothing no more. There's basically no tension, which is why you just want to keep it at this shortened position. So you just want to be doing shortened partials, but like longer than partials. So you want to be going like from the forehead, but like not all the way to lockout, and then wrapping it again to your head. That's going to be keeping the most tension on that shortened position of the bicep, which is the most important of that exercise. Now, when you turn around, this is the exact opposite. Now you're going to be doing pelican curls, and the flaw with this exercise, which is actually a good thing, is that there's almost no tension at the squeezed position, which makes it extremely valuable and extremely effective for lengthened partials, lengthened positioning. So when you have that lengthened position, you want to be now focusing as much as you can on just going from full stretch to halfway, which are where there still is tension, and then releasing it again. When you do these exercises back to back together, you're actually now going to be focusing on each and every single part of the bicep, part of the tension, where it's most effective. So with the curl towards your face, you're going to be focusing on the squeeze position, and with the pelican curl on the stretch position. Do about 8 reps per exercise for about 2 sets to failure. You want to be hitting failure on both of these, and you need to kind of be deciding for yourself what you like to do first better. So if you first feel better with the pelican curls and then turning around and doing bicep curls, totally fine. If you want to do it other way around, totally fine. But just keep in mind, the pelican curl is a very, very difficult exercise, and it's way more difficult than the bicep curl. So if you do the pelican curl after the bicep curl, just make sure that you're properly warmed up way before with the forearm exercises that I showed you. Now, exercise number 5, the final but definitely not the least. We're going to be doing a superset of compounds body weight for high reps. Listen, a lot of people have been commenting on my videos saying, what do you actually advise? Do you advise low rep or high rep? Like, you keep switching. I'm like, no, I don't keep switching. I focus on low volume, high intensity, but I supplement it with high reps. Supplementing it with high reps on the side will get your physique just that extra emphasis, that extra pop that you want. High rep calisthenics is extremely effective. You have to use it in your advantage. Even in my Jacked by Calisthenics program, I exactly cover this perfectly. I say to everyone, yo, if you have done your full routine, which is low volume and high intensity, after that, or just a couple of times a week, you want to be focusing on high reps just as a supplementary exercise. So right now we're going to be doing chin-ups and dips, just a regular version of the chin-up and dips, and we're going to be doing this after our arm training. So we're going to be doing 20-20, 15-15, 12-12, and 10-10, just without any rest. And we're going to be going back to back to pump up the arms to the maximum that you could pump it up to. Now listen, these are of course not mainly arm exercises, but when you use them as a finisher, as a buyout set after you have done all your isolations and all your focused arm work, this is going to be adding in some extra volume into the arms. Because your arms are already activated, they're now going to be activated even more during your compound movements. So when you pre-activate them and then you're going to be doing your compound movements, which I'm explaining right now, you're basically turning these into arm exercises. So you're basically going to be using your biceps more with a chin-up right now. You're going to be using your triceps more with a dip because you feel it more. Everything is already pumped up in that area. So when you do it again through compounds instead of isolations, you're going to be attacking them even further. Also, what this does is you add a little bit of extra arm volume at the end of your week without sacrificing your recovery. So you're now going to be able to push that arm growth even further without you even needing to worry about, oh, I might need to take an extra rest day, or I might need to do less on my next arm day. You keep it the exact same. This is a supplement. It's like taking protein while you've already had 2 steaks. Just a little bit of extra protein, right? Through a supplement. That is exactly what we're doing right here. A little bit of extra arm work as a supplement after our main work. Now let's go into a separate bonus chapter that I wanted to share with you, how to program these 5 exercises for maximum arm growth. Now, the way that you program this the best, in my opinion, is by having a split where you train your arms, focus on your arms fully for twice a week, which is exactly what I have explained in my Jacked by Calisthenics program. You want to be focusing on it twice a week, and with those exercises, you're going to be alternating between bicep and triceps. And you're going to be doing everything to your maximum capacity. Everything to failure and beyond. Arm training should not be done with reps in reserve. It should not be done with reps in reserve and 5 minutes of rest. No, you should put some real effort on it. Go to failure. Make your arms strain every single rep, right? Go to failure. Fail some reps. Go beyond failure. Do some extra partials at the end. That is exactly how I want you to do it. And the best way of first beginning to get into these exercises is by putting them into your program, as I said, twice a week with just 2 sets. Just 2 sets on every single thing that I've just explained to you, and trust me, your arms are gonna grow. I will, in the future, will make a full arm video for you guys, so stay tuned for that. And again, if you actually want to already get started and reach your dream physique in 2025, before 2026, go ahead and go over to the top link in the description, because everything that you need to know, every single module that you need to watch in order to go from skinny to jacked with calisthenics, the proper way of calisthenics, is right there. So what are you waiting on? Get it right now, invest in yourself, and I'll see you inside. And as always, watch this video right here, because this video, I'm gonna be exactly teaching you the best training strategy to grow muscle with calisthenics.